See, when it comes to the school education, it's an early child care and education, right? And when it says that 85% child's cumulative brain develops to the age of 6, this is what the psychologists of cognitive and the people working on the cognitive psychology talks about. And therefore, the Anganwadi is today what we talk about in the ये 2 साल 2.5 साल में उसको हम जो है शुरू कर देते हैं. That's all. And the same replacement in village is Anganwadi. And this is what the government targets, the policy document targets that this will be achieved by 2030. But we are already going to enter 25. The 24 to completely होने वाला है. And you have a very small time left whether we will be able to achieve this or not. It's a big challenge. So what I am trying to say is the policy document which I talked about seems to be having good goals with well thought, but it doesn't talk about the implementation. That's where maybe it is left for the government to implement, but at the same time there must have been some directions for the implementation. Where we see some challenges, but it looks nice that the philanthropists will come and put in the education system. But whether those philanthropists will come or not is a big challenge, right? भाई दानी लोग आएंगे और पैसा लगाएंगे मतलब बड़ा aim तो अच्छा but they will come or not. So what is important is the implementation issue seems to be still not addressed. That's where, but we may succeed. People may come, but it has to be seen basically. That's how it is. And then only we will be able to achieve it by 2030. It may take longer time to achieve the targets. What is said early child education, the children entering grade 1 are school ready. That's what the play school भी यही कहते हैं ना, हम आपके बच्चों को स्कूल के लिए तैयार कर देंगे, फिर वहाँ जब एडमिशन के लिए जाएंगे 2-4 सवाल पूछेंगे तो बच्चे डरेगा नहीं, ऐसे होता ना, बच्चा डरेगा नहीं, मैडम को यस मैडम, यस व्हाट इज योर फादर्स नेम, सो अंग्रेजी में फटाफट बोलेगा तो बच्चे का एडमिशन डन. कौन से कार से घूम तो बेटा, देगा मम्मी पापा जी तुम्हारे कार है, तो बच्चे का एडमिशन फटाफट, राइट. मैं भी जब अपनी बच्ची का भर रहा था 2000 में, बोला कि कार कौन सी है, मैंने कहा कोई नहीं है, तो ठीक है तो कहाँ से लिखता है, झूठ क्यों लिखना मैंने. तो दिस इज हाउ द एडमिशन प्रोसेस आई हैव आल्सो गॉन थ्रू. मैं आई वाज कॉल्ड इन द संस्कृति स्कूल, एक है ना दिल्ली में, और व्हेन आई एंटर्ड राजीव प्रसाद रेड्डी वाज मिनिस्टर दैट टाइम, बीजेपी सरकार ही थी शायद, अच्छा ये 2000, and he was coming out. तो मैंने सोचा मेरे बेटा होगा, बच्ची का होगा कि नहीं होगा, इतने बड़े बड़े लोग निकल रहे बाहर. तो हमारा नंबर कहाँ से, that feeling it came to my mind immediately. The moment I saw him coming out, it may be wrong thought, but the moment I saw him coming out and going in, it immediately came to my mind. बड़े बड़े लोगों के एडमिशन होते हैं, और it was a reserved for civil servant basically. The school was made with the government funding for only civil servants. By funding of government, देखिए ध्यान रखने की बात ये है, प्राइवेट कहने को प्राइवेट लगता है नहीं वो. गवर्नमेंट गिव्स ए गुड यूज एड टू संस्कृति स्कूल ओनली फॉर द सिविल सर्वेंट. अब उसमें 10-20% कई बार हमारे जैसे लोगों का हो जाता है. मेरा बेटी का नहीं हुआ अलग बात है, लेकिन हमारे जैसे बहुत लोगों को किसी का हो जाता है, थोड़ा जुगाड़ करके हो ही जाता है. तो हमारे पास जुगाड़ नहीं था तो नहीं हुआ, कोई बात नहीं. बट व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू से, दैट्स व्हाट व्हेन यू आर रेडी. Ready means the child should be able to perform there, and I think is a good, is huge pressure on children to perform at that stage. It's a big huge burden on the children. But anyway, but here it does not mean that ready. Ready means we must have some skills. That's the important learning aspect. It is education policy is not saying that ready, but yes. And at the age of 5 in Anganwadi, child will move to preparatory class. Now, that is grade 1. थोड़े दिन आंगनबाड़ी में पढ़ेगा, प्ले में, यहाँ प्ले स्कूल में पढ़ेगा, उसके बाद 5 साल में वो 1 में जाएगा. What I am trying to say is still the education, new education policy talks about क्लास 1 में एडमिशन 5 ही साल में होगा। सी जब आप 5+3+3+4 पढ़ते हैं तो आपको लगता है कि कौन सी चीज नहीं बोली है, बट इफ यू लुक एट दैट स्टिल द एडमिशन टू क्लास 1 इज एट 5, सो 12th क्लास यू विल पास इन 17 साल उतने ही लगने हैं। नाउ लुक एट द nomenclatures, that's what I am saying. Now preparatory class means 1, 2, 3, I'll talk about that also. Then by this time the achieve literacy and numeracy by grade 3. Grade 3 means class 3. It says that उसको थोड़ा लिखना आ जाना चाहिए, ABCD और ये सब आ जाना चाहिए, और थोड़ा बहुत काउंटिंग और ये सब आ जाना चाहिए. That's what the whole aim is, and that's good skill. Now look at this. This is how the new education policy talks about. आंगनबाड़ी और आश्रम शाला, that is the name they give, up to age 5. 3 साल में जाएगा, 2 साल वहां रहेगा जैसे आपका प्ले स्कूल है, और 5 साल तक ये गांव में आंगनबाड़ी, यहाँ प्ले स्कूल में पढ़ेगा, एंड देन age 5, 6, and then it will go to 3 to 8, first 2, right? Grade 1, 2, and then grade, what you call is up to 3, it may not be. पहला, दूसरा, तीसरा, for class 1, class 2, and class 3 is called primary or preparatory in the new document, right? And if you make age 6, 8 is 1, 2, grade 3 to 5, class 3 and class 4. Grade means class, right? You come class. 4 age is up to 11, 5 साल में, 11 साल में 5वीं पास करता बच्चा भी करता से 11 ऐसे पढ़िए। तो तीसरी, चौथी, 5वीं क्लास 8, 11 वर्ष में करेगा, राइट? एंड जो ग्रेड पॉलिसी ग्रेड क्या कहती है, 1 to 2 में क्लास 1 and 2 6 और 7 जो भी करे 8 साल तक कर देगा, और 6 साल में वो अपना 5 6 वो आपका प्रिपरेटरी और आंगनबाड़ी सब करके करेगा ना। 6 7 8 वो 14 साल में नहीं करेगा, राइट? 14 साल में 6 7 8 करेगा, और फिर उसके बाद वो 15 16 17 18 में 4 साल में हाई स्कूल और इंटरमीडिएट ही करेगा, राइट? एज में कोई फर्क नहीं है, बट द क्वेश्चन इज द नेम्स गिवन आर, इट इज योर फाउंडेशनल कोर्सेज व्हिच यू कॉल आंगनबाड़ी, मैंने शायद लिखा नहीं है, देन इट कॉल्ड प्रिपरेटरी 1 2 3, right? And 3 4 5 is called your primary, and then middle called 6 7 8 is called middle, and 9 10 11 and 12 is called higher yeah, secondary education. This is what the document talks about. So the number of years is same, and if you look at the nomenclatures are changed. अभी प्ले हमने उसको फाउंडेशन कह दिया, राइट? 1 2 3 हमने पहले जमाने में ब्रिटिश पीरियड में हम कहते हैं लोअर प्राइमरी अपर प्राइमरी. You may not be knowing this. When our fathers used to study, it's called lower primary and upper primary. 1 2 3 is lower primary, and then 1 2 and 3 4 5 is upper primary. It was like then 6 and then 9. That's what it goes. So therefore it says, if you read the document, 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4, it may confuse you, but that is not confusing. First last 4 is 9 10 11, and then if you come to the reverse direction, 9 10 11 12 is 4, 6 7 8 is 3, 3 4 5 is 3, and आंगनबाड़ी से लेके 1 2 5 साल हो गए ना, 5 हो गया. So that's what it is. But what I am trying to say is, if you read it very properly, it doesn't give you much. This is how the nomenclatures are. If you look at this, this is how the nomenclatures are. Foundational, preschool, grade 1 2. This is called foundation. Then preparatory 3 4 5. Then middle 6 7 8. High school 9 से 12. Formal education is 5 3 3 4. So what I am trying to say, it is a change of the nomenclature. But I myself fail to understand, very frankly I will tell, if this nomenclature really make a substantial change or not, because the document does not talk much on that, why they need to change this in this kind of a system. But they may have something in mind. right? So it's very difficult to really understand whether this change in this nomenclature is really bringing some change in the education, school education or not. It's not very clear from the document. That's what, even if you read and you will not be able to, what change it will bring to the education, school education. Very difficult to understand. But yes, and it goes the same. If you look at this, to me it appears same, except some, anyway. So now you understand 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4, right? Now, if you look at, see, the government says the 6 to 8 grade, the enrollment ratio is 90.7. देश के 97.90.7% बच्चे 8वीं तक एनरोल रहते हैं, उसके बाद ड्रॉप करते हैं, एंड ड्रॉप, दिस इज पॉलिसी डॉक्यूमेंट, इसे 9 से 10 तक पहुंचते पहुंचते 79.3, बाकी सब ड्रॉप कर जाते हैं. They are not able to afford education after 8th standard. And 11वीं 12वीं करते करते 51.3% children are able to pass 12th. और देखिए, if you look at the, इसको हिंदी में विडंबना कहते हैं, dilemma, आप देखिए, हमारे नीट देने वाले 23 लाख, जेई देने वाले 14 लाख, राइट, और उसके बाद सीयूटी देने वाले भी 11-12 लाख हैं. हो सकता कुछ पिछली बार में हुए, वो भी इंक्लूडेड होंगे उसमें. 23 और 14 मिला देंगे तो 37 प्लस 11 ऑलमोस्ट 50 लाख लोग एक साल में 12वीं के बाद एग्जाम लिखते हैं. 50 लाख स्टूडेंट राइट ऑल दीज एग्जाम्स. उसके अलावा जो नहीं लिखते होंगे वो तो अलग होंगे, कुछ डुप्लीकेट भी होंगे जो पिछली बार में अपियर हुए, इस बार में अपियर हुए, ऐसे होंगे, बट उनको भी आप निकालेंगे तभी 30-40 लाख तो बैठेगा. So what I am trying to say is, in spite of only this much enrollment ratio, and look at the number of candidates appearing for these examinations, and we don't have sufficient education system. नीट पर तो सर बोल रहे हैं लोग, 1 लाख कुछ एडमिशन होते हैं, प्राइवेट पब्लिक दोनों मिला के. Only the medical seats in this country are 1 lakh 10,000, 1 लाख 10,000 ऐसे ही हैं, सब मिला के प्राइवेट पब्लिक, सरकारी कॉलेज प्राइवेट, और जहाँ 23 लाख लोग नीट का एग्जाम लिखते हैं. What I am trying to say is, look at the status of the education system. If the enrollment ratio goes to 90%, क्या होगा? All 90% which are enrolled in 6 to 8 had appeared up to till 12th. कितने लाख लोग नीट देते सोचिए, और कितने लाख जेई देते, और कितने लाख सीयूटी देते, और कितने के एडमिशन होते हैं. So what I am trying to focus on, the kind of a lack of infrastructure in the education system is a huge gap. Right, for Indian education system, and that's how this clearly says 6.2 crore children aged 16 to 18 are out of the school in 2030. UNESCO report. This is what I was talking about. अगर इनको भी आप सिस्टम में इंक्लूड कर दीजिए, if you are able to include them in the system, कितने लोग एग्जाम देने वाले हो, कितनों का एडमिशन होगा. It's a huge country. We need a huge infrastructure in education system. That's what. And then, that's when the policy is good, targets 100% by 2035. The enrollment should be 100% by 2035. That 90.7% would reach up to 100 by 2035. That's what the policy document says. But how it will be achieved is silent on that. It's the most difficult part. But at least the pleasure is that at least the policy document recognizes it and it talks about it. Once you start talking, then gradually probably may achieve. Why not? It not on 2035, but maybe 2050 we may achieve it. Right? We should not be very pessimistic as well all the time. It may take longer time to achieve, but at least this is recognized that we are lacking here. That's good part of the policy document at least. Even if it does not talk of implementation details, how it will be achieved. Now, and then it talks on multilingualism. बहुत सारे लैंग्वेज में बच्चों को पढ़ाएंगे, राइट? instruction at least up to grade 5, preferably grade 8 and beyond will be the home and mother tongue local language. That's what it says. And that right from is a debatable issue whether it is right. Now, and 3 language formula will continue, right? And begin to learn science and mathematics bilingually up to grade 6. छठी तक आप दोनों भाषाओं में साइंस और मैथ्स अंग्रेजी और अपनी जो मदर टंग है उसमें सीखते रहिए. And then by grade 9 they will speak science maths in bilingual mode. That's what the document says. Now this is a big issue. There are a lot of debates going on that where some say yes, the education in the mother tongue will be helpful to the student. Yes, to a certain extent it is correct. No doubt about that, because the languages I speak at home, if I start learning them, I can learn fast. No doubt about that. But at the same time, too much diversity, there are too many languages, and I don't know, most of us those who have come from Hindi medium, when you go to the college, then all of a sudden the medium change. And the kind of difficult, and this I have faced, I don't know whether you have faced or not, it's also a difficult task to cope up with their times. It puts a lot of challenge. Not everybody copes up with many of them. That was a difficult one. If we can shift into to bilingual mode, mother tongue as well as English, then that can be useful. That's what I see. But that will be also the vision of the committee. अभी तो IIT जोधपुर ने हिंदी में पढ़ाना शुरू कर दिया ना इंजीनियरिंग. And look at 4-5 years down the line, this model succeeds or not. We have to all see. If it succeeds, fine. But my assumptions are not at the stage. Even if the medium of instruction in English, people are not able to get employment after certain, they face difficulties, and therefore this will be the river direction or really it may give good results. The time will test it. That's what I assume. But yes, right. Then it craft सीखे. Right? और कोई और को उसकी इच्छा है तो वोकेशनल में वो भी सीखे. That probably may give an added skill to a child because you learn fast in the childhood. And it's a state examination at grade 3, 4, 5. तो स्टेट ही करेगा तब तक और नेशनल लेवल नहीं होगा. बट बोर्ड एग्जामिनेशन एट ग्रेड 10 and 12 बीच में हटा दिया था ना, अब तो शुरू हो गया. बट देयर शुड बी अ बोर्ड एग्जाम at 10 and 12. And no doubt about that, without having a proper infrastructure, NTA को आपने इतना लोड दे दिया कि it is a failure. Staff नहीं है, सब hired है, those who are not accountable. And हम न्यूज़ को तो ठीक है, you blame entire NTA, but NTA has its own problems because if you don't give them sufficient staff and salaries, they have to generate funds, and then a lot of issues which I am not going on the NTA. The common aptitude test CUT कर ही रहा है, सब पहला subject कर ही रहा, but I don't know after this how much successful NTA will be. This time NTA was exposed, but it doesn't mean this happened only this time. You never know. And it's such a country big competition जहाँ आप 1 लाख लोग रहे 23 लाख में से 1 लाख लोग सब निकल करके चले हैं, कोई भरोसा नहीं है. You never know. Out of 23 lakh, 1 lakh is a small number if you look that way. That's why I'm saying. Otherwise, had it been कि 23 लाख से 15 लाख लोग ले रहे, चलो 1 लाख चले भी गए तो कोई बात नहीं है. बाकी 14 लाख लोग compete कर सकते हैं, ऐसा सीन नहीं है. That's where it has to be again estimated the problems at the NTA which government may be doing to look at the NTA. But fine, it should be only. अभी इसको बहुत ज़्यादा बर्डन कर दिया है. Had it been only JEE, NEET and CUT, that could have been sufficient probably. NTA could have managed. But इसके अलावा लोग अपने रिक्रूटमेंट जॉब भी करने तो NTA करेगा, ये भी NTA करेगा, सब NTA करेगा. Then it is overburdened. NTA भी अच्छा लगता है, पैसा कमा लेता है NTA भी, और but it's not able to manage that big. So anyway, that focus it says the B.Ed has to be a 4-year program after 10+2. राइट. पहले B.Ed 1 साल का, फिर 2 साल का, आजकल कितने 2 साल के है ना, पहले 1 साल होता था एक टाइम पर, फिर became 2 years, now it's a 4 year as a B.Tech. After 10+2, those the teaching in B.Ed, they should take admission in B.Ed and 4-year course they should do. And almost all universities should have B.Ed. That's what this document suggests. Alright? So, so that you can also generate special educators. That's what the whole idea is. Let us, and then finally it says all bachelor programs should be 4 years. Right? पहले तो बीटेक की 4 साल होता था, अब कहते हैं बीए भी 4 साल होगा और बीकॉम भी 4 साल होगा और बीएससी भी 4 साल होगा. And what it says is that a bachelor in 2 years, if one is not able to complete 4 years, after 2 years, there is multiple entry and multiple exit. So 1 साल के बाद भी छोड़ सकता है, 2 साल के बाद भी छोड़ सकता है, 3 साल के बाद भी छोड़ सकता है और 4 साल के बाद तो छोड़ना ही है. इसके बाद तो आगे पॉसिबिलिटी नहीं है. समझिए? So this is what it says. But anyway, and 2 साल छोड़ के बीच में 3 साल में फिर से छोड़ के दोबारा आ सकता है. That is again enter into the system. That is called multiple entry and multiple exit. 1 साल के बाद छोड़ के फिर सेकेंड ईयर में आ सकते हैं. That's what it is, and it has both. It is a what you call a kind of दो धारी तलवार नहीं कहते, sword with 2 edges. ये दोनों तरफ है ये. इसलिए कि see, if you leave after 1 year, then you will be given. If you leave after 2 years, you will be given a diploma. अगर आप नहीं आना चाहते दोबारा, अपना डिप्लोमा लो और जाओ. और if you want to leave after 1 year, you take a certificate and go. मैंने लिखा नहीं शायद. You take a certificate and go. 2 साल के बाद आप छोड़िए, आपको डिप्लोमा मिल गया. डिप्लोमा इन साइंस, डिप्लोमा इन आर्ट्स, डिप्लोमा इन कॉमर्स, ऐसा मिल गया. If you leave after 3 years, you get a bachelor degree. You get bachelor in science, bachelor in arts, जो भी मिलता है, and bachelor in commerce. If you complete 4 years, the 4th year it said it is research oriented. You will have a specialized training, और फिर आपको 4 साल की डिग्री मिलेगी. Then you can also go for PhD after 4 years. But not all. those who excel, जिनका distinction होगा 4 साल के बाद, वो सीधे PhD करने जा रहे हैं. मास्टर्स के बाद भी PhD आप देख सकते हैं. बैचलर के बाद अच्छा भी हो सकता है, खराब भी हो सकता है. We don't know because some says the bachelor are young minds. उनका बहुत ज्यादा वो होता है. मुझे नहीं लगता कि एक बैचलर के बाद 2 साल मास्टर करने के बाद वो यंग माइंड खत्म हो जाता है, ऐसा तो है नहीं. राइट? 2 साल में तो बूढ़े नहीं होते हैं लोग, स्टिल देयर इज यंग. बट यस, दैट्स अ थॉट प्रोसेस. बट एनीवे, इट्स अ मल्टीडिसिप्लिनरी रिसर्च. आप 4थे साल में अगर आप इंजीनियरिंग कर रहे हैं तो आप बीएससी कर रहे हैं, 4थे साल में आप फिजिक्स में ही करेंगे या ऑनर्स ऑनर्स कहते हैं. तो अब 4 साल के बाद आपको मिलेगा. देन यू कैन गो फॉर पीएचडी आल्सो. दैट्स व्हाट इट सजेस्ट. And then if you do 4 years bachelor, then you do 1 year master. And if you do 3 years bachelor, then you do 2 years master. There are 2 masters now. Now there is a challenge that those who are coming in 1 year, those coming 2 years, second year को एक साथ चलना पड़ेगा. So it's a big challenge as well. But this is what is proposed. Probably the idea is the 4 year bachelor. You will be able to match with the Western US, not Britain. US जाए तो 4 साल के बाद आपको सीधे 4 साल की डिग्री मिले जैसे वहां मिलती है. Could be the idea, but it has both ways it goes. Slide है कि नहीं see. Okay. Now we look at this multiple exit and multiple entry. It has both plus and both negative points. That's what I feel. See, many say that those who do not complete it, they can quit in between and take a degree. That's right. हम 4 साल नहीं कर सकते तो हमने 3 साल को छोड़ा. हमें कम से कम खाली हाथ नहीं गए, कुछ तो हाथ में लगा ना. एक सर्टिफिकेट तो मिला 1 साल के बाद, खाली खाली तो नहीं गया हमने. दैट्स गुड. या 2 साल के बाद डिप्लोमा तो मिल गया, नहीं तो खाली जाना मेरा 2 साल वेस्ट जाते हैं. एंड देन से यस, बाय कंपल्सन यू हैव लेफ्ट, यू हैव द ऑप्शन टू कम बैक. राइट? सीम्स गुड, नो डाउट. बट look at the point, those who are not able to afford 3 years, they have to have 1 year more burden if they want to complete 4 years. मेरे को 3 साल की एजुकेशन लेने में मुश्किल होगी, चौथा 1 साल और लेना पड़ेगा. Look at the financial burden and others, right? And if you look at the holistic view of the country, It may be a burden for those who are finding it difficult to get 3-year education. Then 1 year additional is a burden on them. But you can say no, they can leave after 3 years. The moment we make all these categorization, we are imposing some kind of a hierarchy also. तब आप अच्छा 4 साल का भी है कि 3 साल का भी है, आप तो देखने लगे, मैं तो 4 साल का है तो 3 साल के हैं. See the kind of thought process we have got, the kind of a superiority and inferiority complex to deal with. अच्छा मैं तो इंजीनियर हूँ, आप तो खाली बीएससी है, अभी नहीं होता ना. अच्छा मैं तो बीटेक हूँ, आप तो अच्छा ये तो आर्ट साइड से इन्हें बीए कर लिया कौन सा. See this is what in a kind of society we live in, we also have a psychological issues which deals with that. But time will test what way it will go if it is implemented, and we have to see, right? And if it doesn't work, probably you can go back. If it works fine, you can proceed with that. Yes, we have to test at times if the change in the policy is there. That's how I see it anyway. And when I say burden, अब देखिए ना जो दूर दराज से दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी पढ़ने आते हैं, उनको अपना किराया भी देना है, कोई पीजी में रहता है, कोई इधर रहता है. See, look, that's angle I was thinking of anyway. But it's all like, and this is what is a 4 years can go directly to the PhD program. And it's like there are 50,000 higher education institutions in this country. 50,000 सब कॉलेज यूनिवर्सिटी मिला के हैं, and 7,000 something universities are in the country existing today. And it's a there are 3 kinds of the system. One is called research universities, where teaching and research both will go. It's type 1. And type 2 is only teaching university, where you teach, it will not focus much on research. And type 3 are colleges, and they're called autonomous colleges. अब ये affiliation हट जाएगी, आप कॉलेज हैं तो आपका affiliation किसी यूनिवर्सिटी से होना चाहिए. That will go away. And it said that it will be autonomous college, that means it will be able to give you degree. The degree granting authority will be given to the college itself. That's what it says. And there was nothing called deemed to be university. वो concept हट जाएगा. अभी तो मतलब deemed to be university कहते हैं ना आपने, because deemed to be university, you are not a university but you have a authority to give degree. That's what deemed to be is. और कोई खास मतलब नहीं है, लोग सोचते हैं confusion. Deemed to means you have a power to give degree. That's it. Otherwise, colleges are not empowered to give degree. Right. So the concept of deemed to be will be eliminated now. Right. So the college will have that power. The degree granting autonomous colleges will call them. And each will have more than 3,000 students registered. That's how it is. अगर हर कोई 3,000 students register करेगा, so it said that probably we can meet the needs of the country. That is what the policy document says. But okay, and with this it said to increase the enrollment ratio up to 50% by 2030 in the university system from 26.4 in 2018. In higher education, the enrollment ratio was 26.4 in 2018. 2018 is like because they were started working in 2018 on the policy document. And but 2030, 50% they will say if it's achieved, good enough. But if you look at that, okay, how do you achieve this 3,000 ratio? पता नहीं slide है कि नहीं, but I'll talk. होगा तो skip कर देंगे, कोई बात नहीं. See, it says that a concept of clustering will come into the picture. That means lot of colleges close by together will be combined together in a cluster, one. Right? And that means the teacher in this college can teach here and there, or they can be combined at one big college and lot of with infrastructure. That's what they talk about. Whether school, whether college. अगर छोटे-छोटे स्कूल बंद करके हम एक ही स्कूल बनाएंगे, वहाँ पर सारा टीचर वहाँ पर आएगा, वहाँ पर सारी फैसिलिटीज हम क्रिएट कर देंगे, so that resource efficiency which the goal talked about there is that we use the resources efficiently. But as I said, schooling, the small child cannot go to that far distance if you make a cluster. But the clustering has already started. when the schools in different states are being closed, they are converted into cluster schools. But this is a big challenge as well. But as at one cluster we have a lot of infrastructure, playgrounds बड़े-बड़े होंगे, बच्चे खेलेंगे भी, play and learn. This is the approach in early child education. And then in the college system also, we don't have big laboratories facilities. So if you make clusters of colleges, अब प्राइवेट में तो क्या होगा नहीं, सरकारी में तो कम से कम होगा कि भाई गाजियाबाद के आसपास 4 कॉलेज है, एक बना दिया कंबाइन करके, तो 3000 हो जाएंगे ना. The ratio that each college will have 3000 students registered. That's what it says, that the cluster will be of such size that it is able to cater to 3000 students. In terms of infrastructure, in terms of the teaching and research, teaching facility, it should be able to do that. That's what the whole idea of clustering is, and resource efficiency will be met. That's what the whole idea is. But let us see, it has not yet started clustering of colleges, but now it may start. And then each higher education institutions, which is called HEI, will have board of governors. This IIT में होता है, IIT system has board of governors. वहाँ कोई अजीम प्रेम जी या क्या कहते हैं शिवनादर गवर्निंग बॉडी के चेयरमैन होते हैं. बहुत टाइम तक शिवनादर वो चेयरमैन ऑफ गवर्निंग काउंसिल ऑफ IIT खड़गपुर for a long time. And this is how the whole coaching business started with, लोगों को पता नहीं है. And see, I'm not adverse that why there should not be, no one नहीं कह, but sometimes there is a conflict of interest. कभी-कभी conflict of interest भी होता है, right? So who should be, who should not be, and there are a lot of conflict. But what I'm trying to say is, all the education systems will have a chairman of governing council the government will appoint, and it may be a big private partner, businessman, who will be dealing with that, and that's how the whole institutions, higher education systems will be governed. अभी नहीं होता, अभी क्या, the vice chancellor is the head of the governing council and academic bodies, and rest of the teachers in the university are members of it. That is how the whole policy and decisions are taken in the university system. Now that means, yes, this will go out of the autonomy of the colleges or university. It will be a governing body set up from outside, will deal with that. That's one idea, and that is called BOG. And appoint the head of HEI, the government will appoint the head of this. This HEI, the governing body will be responsible for the outcome of the institution. कैसा काम कर रहा, that is what the governing body will monitor. ठीक कर रहे, all IITs. Ultimately, the governing body is the one who takes decision whether the IIT, which direction they should move, what they are doing. That's how it is. And then they will make a development plan for each institution. So yes, we have to see then where it leads to. Right? That's what we are saying. And then that's what it said. You are autonomous. Then you have a lot of flexibility. You can do anything inside, but under the control of governing body. That's how it is. And it's a, we are giving you a lot of flexibility, a lot of autonomy. आप करिए जो पढ़ाना जो करना फीस लीजिए करिए. See, you earn and then you do whatever you want to do. But हमसे पैसा मत मांगिए. That's what the government colleges is. Right? Fine. But that will not be able to differentiate then the private education and the public education if it all runs on the same model and same mode. Right? And that's how it focuses on, but anyway. So the higher education body, it says that there is the Higher Education Commission and Higher Education Funding Agency, HIFA, and it says that all government institutions, university has to take loan now to build infrastructure. पहले सरकार पैसा देती थी बिल्डिंग बनाने का, सारा कहते हमसे कर्जा लो और बनाओ, उसके बाद कर्जा चुकता करो. Right? And 10% of that has to be paid on annual basis. जो भी government की grant होती है उसको वो अपना करते हैं. But anyway, and that means it is dealt through a bank, kind of bank का जो सब deal होता है. And only way out is you can pay back this money. अभी मैं एक दिन जामिया मिल्ला इस्लाम में था तो किसी प्रोग्राम के वाइस चांसलर थे. तो उनके डीन ऑफ इंजीनियरिंग बोले कि हमारा ऑडिटोरियम जो है ना आपने डीन ऑफ स्टूडेंट के अथॉरिटी हमारे डीन के अथॉरिटी में होना चाहिए। बोले वो हिबा का लोन चुकता करना है तो पैसा नहीं आएगा, मतलब वो जो किराए पे देते तो पैसा आता तभी तो हिबा का लोन चुकता करते हैं। दिस व्हाट ही सेड इन द कन्वर्सेशन। पर इसे वो बात भी कर सकते लेकिन पावर हमारी टीम को दे दो, मतलब हम तो पैसे की बात तो कर ही नहीं रहे। और आई एम सेइंग अल्टीमेटली यू हैव टू पे बैक, देन you have to generate, and then the government education systems also have to look into the all these people, right? To certain extent it could in a sense अभी आदमी क्या करता है वही प्रोजेक्ट डीबीटी में लिखा, वही प्रोजेक्ट बीएसटी में थोड़ा मॉडिफाई करके लिख के दोनों एजेंसी से दो एक ही प्रोजेक्ट थोड़ा थोड़ा चेंज करके दो ले लेता है। This how people have been doing in past, right? Now with this electronic system there is a restriction on that to only की एक ही प्रोजेक्ट दो जगह थोड़ा थोड़ा चेंज करेगा, lot of control came. But if one is a granting agency, probably will have a control over that people issuing it, and also probably the distribution of funding may be good. Maybe funding is a difficulty one. आपको तो प्रोजेक्ट जल्दी नहीं मिलता होगा ना, नहीं मिलता है। अब आईआईटी में तो आपको सबसे पहले मिलता, फिर एनआईटी में तो उसके बाद आपको मिलता, फिर ट्रिपल आईटी में मिलता, फिर उसके बाद यूनिवर्सिटी में तो मिलता, फिर आपका नंबर आता, इतना पैसा तो है नहीं, आपके नंबर आने तक पैसा खत्म हो जाता है। This is how the whole funding scenario in the DBT or DST is, right? The name, as I can bet the many of the new IITs are not that good as the some private institutions are, no doubt about that. और शायद नए IIT का खाली नाम पर चल रहा है, उनकी भी हालत खस्ता है। So, but the name at the time, the brand name also works. That's how the system works. But anyway, one single founding agency will be also a good monitoring of the funds would be good in that way, and also it may lead to a better competition. Maybe it may be a good idea. Then let me put some strong points. What I बस क्विकली खत्म कर देना, 5 मिनट, ठीक है ना? मेरे पास ज्यादा मटेरियल भी नहीं है, ठीक है? See, let me second kind of the strong point we say the foreign development pattern could be good for those who are going to US, but at the same time government talks of inviting foreign universities in the country, so you don't need to go there. Right? And then the elimination of rote learning is a good point. And yes, for child enjoyable and engaging, playful education for children will be good. And it also talks of a project-based education, that at every level you must do some projects. But how it will be done, अभी भी अगर आप इंडस्ट्री से बात करें 4 साल के बाद तो स्टूडेंट कहाँ जा पाते हैं, कोई रखता ही नहीं है 6 महीने के लिए, right? But how that's what the implementation issue comes. So if you look at this, they talk about the resource requirement of the mobilization, it is silent on that. इतना बड़ा सिस्टम बना रहे, रिसोर्सेज कहाँ से आएंगे? लगता तो सुनने में अच्छा लगता है, ऐसा होगा, but from where the resources will be mobilized and will come or implemented. 2035 तो हम enrollment बढ़ा देंगे, but whether we will be able to create the infrastructure or not is a big deal. And somebody said, this second point is not my thought, and some Professor Hargopal said this, it's a glory of the past and romanticizing the future, present is missing, he said this. But I don't fully abide by this, right? This is what he said, it says, we were this in the past, we are this in the past, the document talks a lot of this, and it's a future, it will be this, 35 तक ये कर देंगे, 40 तक ये कर देंगे, but कैसे करेंगे, this is missing. That's why the phrase he made it is glorification, but it's talk of glorious past and romanticizing the future, but the present missing. This is what he talked in his talks. I'm quoting from there, right? That point I've already put that the further graduation what will do, the addressing implementation, centralized bodies. At the same time we talk of decentralization, but this also talks of centralization. एक शिक्षा आयोग होगा, but at the same time we talk of decentralization of the power. But this And we are also talking of the centralization. एक NRF हुआ, अभी DBT का दिया मतलब एक ही हुआ. So it also talks of centralization, and though the entire world goes on decentralization, that's also other one. But and then again, 2 points I have talked about already. But last point is separation of three tier. To me, it appears that teaching and research should go together. That's what my critical comment is, because what I teach in the class, that makes my basics very sound for my research. Alright? And if I teach something else, do research on something else, my foundation is very weak. And what I do in my research, I can also communicate this to the student in the classroom. So, in my view, that the teaching and research should be combined together rather than separating in three tiers, this is teaching only, this is only research. Because we have plenty of research institutions, CSR के इतने institution हैं, और फलाने DBT के इतने institution हैं. There are already some institutions who do only research, they don't engage in teaching. But they have not done wonders, if you look at that. And therefore, in my view, that probably will not serve much. And also, lot of accreditation, आपके पास NEC भी है, आपके पास NBA भी है. And then making more accreditation body, if they have not served the purpose, making more accreditation bodies, I don't think will serve the purpose. अगर हमारा NEC से भी काम नहीं हो रहा, NBA से भी कुछ ऐसे रिजल्ट तो आए नहीं हमारे कि भाई कि हमारे इंस्टीट्यूशन इंप्रूव हो गए, बहुत बढ़िया. रैंक को तो अच्छा लगता है देखने में, हम फर्स्ट टाइम सेकेंड है, लेकिन है फर्स्ट सेकेंड ये दूसरी बात है. But I don't think these accreditation bodies have already done wonders for us, and make more centralized bodies will do wonders for us. It's not, I don't think will be helping much. That's what my observation is. And employability is a big challenge. If you look at this, and what I say is, yes, liberation seems to be difficult, because it needs a lot of scientific temper. And I don't know how much scientific temper our education system imparts today, and how much it will impart in the future. That's a doubt. But anyway, but the town because you said close. Right. Anyway, I'll close here. Thank you. Question है तो एक कोई question तो नहीं है, एक दो देते हैं तो.
Any questions from audience, please?
चलिए, हाँ जी हाँ जी.
जैसे कि तमाम बोर्ड हैं, इसको स्टेट होते हैं, फिर आईसी है, फिर आपका आईसीआईसीआई, तो जो बोर्ड
It also talks of national curriculum. आपके एक सेशन भी है यहाँ पर. One curriculum. That's what it talks about.
Thank you so much, sir, for your enlightening talk on the NCP. Sir.
बट जैसा हम लोग देख रहे हैं प्राइवेट में, मैं प्राइवेट में पढ़ा हूँ, तो हम लोग को बच्चों को पढ़ाने के लिए
नहीं, आप भी कुछ नहीं सीख रहे. Very frank in a sense. In a sense, आप खाली डॉक्यूमेंटेशन सीख रहे हैं. हाँ, ये तो मैं कह रहा हूँ. नहीं, मुझे नहीं लगता कोई चेंज है. But see, more accreditation body will not help much if they are not helped. Until we have a new thought process in that. And the document doesn't talk of that also.
Thank you so much, sir, for your enlightening talk on NEP. It's been truly inspiring to listen to you insights on student-centric and making education more employable. Your balanced perspective on strength and weakness of the policy has given us much to consider. Time is short, but we wish we could listen to you even more, sir. Now let's take a lunch break. I invite our chief guest and external participant to the multi-purpose hall, same where we had the high tea. All internal participants are kindly requested to remain seated. Thank you.